Hey, check up. Let's play some D. Welcome to episode 45. Whew. The numbers is growing, baby. This is 45 of Play Some D with your host, as always, Coach D in the building. And this week is, I just feel like I always say this. I should have did overtime. I just don't think about overtime. The week goes by so fast, and I try to get stuff down on paper that I want to talk about, and I always just think four, 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 and I never really think like, oh, I can't do five. I should do my overtime, but overtime will come soon. I definitely will have five topics at some point, and I definitely could have had it this week, but I just feel like the four that I have are pretty good. I think they're pretty good. This week I'll definitely be talking about Batman. I finally watched the Batman. I should have been watched it, but the 3 hours was just really, for whatever reason, it was just bothering me. I just didn't really want to watch a 3 hour superhero movie. For whatever reason, it was just these couple of weeks in terms of time and things of that nature. I just didn't really want to watch it, but I finally did watch it. I'm gonna talk about the big, staying in the movie realm. Amazon acquired MGM Studios, which is a big deal, but not so much of a big deal. But I just want to talk about it. I think it can be. Let me rephrase that. I think it can be a big deal, but it may turn out not to be a really huge thing. But $8.5 billion acquisition. You don't sneeze at that. We'll talk about meetings. I have a huge gripe with meetings, but there's a cool article in the Harvard Business Review about stop wasting people's time with meetings. So I want to rant on meetings. And the big news in NFL was the Deshaun Watson trade to the Cleveland Browns, and that is pretty, either how you look at it from a Browns fan or a Texans fan or somebody, Saints or Atlanta is. But we'll get there. That's first quarter, so that'll be tipping this baby off here in a second. But as always, if you don't mind, that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, then post notifications so you know when Play Some D drop. Also, them shorts be coming fast and furious, but not really fast and furious, but they should be coming fast and furious, hopefully. Hopefully. So when them drop, them quarter coverages drop, and yeah, let's get into this baby. Let's tip this baby off with the Deshaun Watson trade, and it was a bit shocking to me. So I thought the Browns would end up going with maybe a Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins did come off. He ended up staying with Minnesota, but I kind of thought one of those two would end up with the Browns for whatever reason. That's just my hunch. And then the Browns got into it with Deshaun, and we were like, okay, they're interested. And I was thinking, like, no, there's no way Deshaun would want to go to the Browns. Like, wow, he's got Atlanta, his hometown. I'm pretty sure it's his hometown. I think people were saying that. Gainesville, Georgia. Gainesville, Georgia. So yeah, why not go back to Atlanta, Georgia to play some football? But he decided to take the Browns or the New Orleans Saints. That's a good team. I mean, you got Kamara. Obviously, Michael Thomas would have came back, and our defense is rock solid in that weak division. But obviously, what it came down to, everybody's talking, all of whatever. It came down to the money. $230 million guaranteed is $80 more than anybody's ever been guaranteed. And that's just something you just can't say no to. Even if the Texans might have offered him that, maybe they did. I mean, you're gonna look, even if you don't want to be bothered, you don't want to be involved with that organization, you're gonna be like 230 guaranteed. Like you're gonna be like, oh, I gotta think about that. So it looked like the Browns were out of the running, which I thought they were. And then I think Andrew Berry heard the the snickering, and he maybe, I'm sure he got friends all over the league, and they were like, look, man, he's looking for the money. He's looking for the money. Just offer him a bunch of money, and he'll probably come. And then also the talent that the Browns have. The Browns have outstanding talent, and the odds in Vegas showed that. It went to 40-1, I believe, to 16-1. So it's like that transition tells you just how much difference he makes with Nick Chubb, and they just got Amari Cooper, and they'll add some more receivers around him. Really good offensive line, really good defense. Just everybody got to stay healthy, and hopefully he plays, or at least plays half of the season, and they definitely got a shot if they make the playoffs. They'll have a huge big puncher's chance to make some noise in the playoffs, especially if he's coming in healthy. He'll be a little rusty, but healthy, not all banged up. Maybe he misses 6 or 7 games, maybe 8. Then he plays the last 8. Maybe hopefully gets it rolling, and it could be lights out for the AFC. But like I said, the Saints just couldn't give him the money, obviously. But given the fact that he would have been a really good chance for a Super Bowl, just like the Browns. And like I said, the money, at the end of the day, the money is what really, really did it. The Texans got 3 first-round picks, 2022, 2023, 2024, 1/3 and 2/4, 2022 and 2024. And then the Browns got a 6th-round pick alongside Deshaun Watson. And then they'll trade Baker for something, a pick probably. I would like to get a player. If I was the Browns, I would be looking to get a player out the deal. A grown-up, a person that's been in the league, knows how to just to fill a void. You don't really want to. I don't think for this team you want a rookie to come in and not know what you're going to get, not know what it's like to be a pro. I think you should get a pro's pro to fill in one of the gaps the Browns have, or maybe a backup player to maybe give Miles a blow every now and then. Just little stuff, just to fill a gap that maybe somebody gets hurt. A pivotal position that you can, maybe offensive lineman to be able to shuffle if something happens. I just think you want to be prepared if something goes wrong. So you don't expect. Injuries are part of the game, so you got to be ready for that. So that's what I would do with Baker if possible. But if it is a 6th-round pick or whatever it is they end up getting, you have to take what you can get, because there's no real reason to keep him. He doesn't want to be there, and he doesn't want to be a backup, and the Browns don't need him. They got Jacoby Brissett. So the other outlook of it is that money. So he's got to get it. It's fully guaranteed, and if something happens, he gets hurt, or that's just that's an argument that Browns fans can rightfully have, and it's totally understandable. And the other side of it is that I think you just have to go for it. I think more often than not, I think more people are going to be satisfied, but that's a lot of money. And as he will be getting a whole bunch of money, depending on how they do the contract at 2 or probably 3 of those years, the Browns are going to be strapped for cash, and it'll be tough to win. Have to put a lot on their shoulders, and depending on just other players and other situations, I think I know at least 2 of those years they're going to have to get lucky and play. You have to play above their level to shoot for championships. It's championships now. It's not division titles and AFC championships. You're going for the championships. All the talk is for championships when you get one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You're talking about championships now. So it's just a whole different conversation. And the Browns are an organization that never had the guy. So it's the options were you try out Baker again, but that was kind of thrown away when you said you were interested in Deshaun. Like I said, that relationship got ruptured. So hypothetically, let's just say Baker's out the window now. This is just a hypothetical situation. Browns go and get Matt Ryan or Jimmy G or whatever. If neither of those guys work out, if they're a 1 or 2 year player, the Browns fall back into the category of needing a quarterback again. and trying to find a franchise quarterback. And that's what happens. That's what happened with Baker not working out, essentially. With Baker Mayfield not working out, the Browns, you just really can't afford to keep going back to the drawing board over and over again. So in that case, that's why you have to risk $230 million, because you've just been perennial losers for so long that you have to get a guy when the opportunity strikes. You're never. They probably won't have a chance like this again. Everybody is getting their quarterbacks. Herbert won't become available. Josh Allen got signed. All the good quarterbacks are going to get signed because it's a quarterback league. So it's like you might get lucky and strike hot with a first-round quarterback or a late-round pick, but that's highly unlikely when you got the opportunity to get a guy that you know is really, really good, unless sitting out a year has caused some football amnesia. He doesn't know how to throw a ball or run or read coverages anymore. I've never been the biggest Deshaun Watson fan, but all I can say is he is a winner. I can't lie about that. He gets the ball down the field. He makes plays. He's a leader. I just never thought his mechanics were that good. I think he throws off balance, off script, and does some weird stuff every now and then. But, I mean, he might have ironed that stuff out with sitting out of the season, watching, getting laser focused. I don't know what kind of guy he is, but he seems like that kind of guy, real particular, like he wants to be great, I think. And we'll see. I will see if he sharpens up. I always thought he's a little loose, but at the end of the day, he's a playmaker, big time. And the Browns got a big time player, and they spent big time money for him. So pretty crazy. I'm rarely shocked, and that definitely shocked me one good time. Well, that was first quarter NFL news. I didn't really want to talk about like Marcus Mariota going to, where did he go to the Falcons, and Matt Ryan went to the Colts, but don't really need to. I was all Deshaun Watson first quarter. Browns, Deshaun Watkins, $230 million. Whew. Big cash. So for second quarter is the Amazon $8.5 billion acquisition of MGM Studios. To say the number is huge is true. It is, and it could be overpaid, but it could be right on time, because Amazon had nothing. As an Amazon Prime member that watches some of the stuff that comes on, I mean, it was just lackluster. I mean, the whole outlook of how you visit the Prime Video is just, you go to Amazon to shop, and you needed something to really change how that outlook worked. Like, you needed something to really shake that up. And I think 4,000 film titles, 17,000 TV shows, 180 Academy Awards, and 100 Emmys of a franchise in that portfolio. I think that helps. I really do. James Bond, RoboCop, Rocky, The Pink Panther, Tomb Raider, Vikings, and Fargo. They get that stuff. That's all good. I think that's all just I think is good. Netflix. So they got a streaming wars market share, and Amazon Video is the subscriber numbers is so skewed, because that's people that get 2-day free shipping, and they're not watching videos, no matter how Amazon wants to tilt those numbers. They don't make up a market share of it. I don't know if this will totally help. That's why I said at the beginning that I don't know if this is a big deal or not. But it's interesting. It's something I think that you have to look at. And with it being MGM, the key for me is that I feel like it fits. I feel like they mesh together. Obviously, this was worked through, and I think the United States government may still have something to say about it. But I think they'll let it go through. I think it'll be healthy competition because you have we got Paramount Plus, Apple Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney, Prime Video, Netflix. I think that's healthy. I mean, my guess is that 10, 15 years from now, these, and then there's other. I don't know what others is, but just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If that consolidates to 3, that will suck. Less is never better for the consumer. You always want more, even though it does, tend to, everybody can't pay for everything. And for some people, maybe 3 may be better since like, oh, it's all bulked in and I could just pay for 3 instead of 7. So I get that argument too, but just competition and good TV and good movies, I think it's better when it's just a variety and you pick what you like and bounce back and forth. There's a big debt issue here that I won't touch on, but Amazon has so much money. I don't think that's even, honestly, even anything to talk about. But they can clean that up. The issue of licensing and exclusivity of content is a crucial issue that Amazon needs to decide on post acquisition. The dilemma is fairly simple. Should it continue to sign MGM license contract or sacrifice exclusivity and core competition to the Amazon platform itself for the revenue brought in for license, or it can keep all MGM content exclusive to sacrifice the license revenue, possibly increasing in primes. So that's, I don't know how they would want to do that whole process as far as licensing and contracts. I guess you just got to see, you kind of got to see what this brews up, and maybe you could do like some kind of trial period and see what people do. I don't know if you have room for that access. I don't know how that whole licensing works. But I personally would just lock it all down if I was Amazon and you just go for it. When you spend that much money, I just think you go for it. And even worst case scenario, you still have the intellectual property. That IP is just so big, and I think just some of those big franchises, even the Bond, just the bigger franchises hold some weight, and I think people would be interested in watching and even digging in. I think this will allow Amazon to kind of claw and pick and maybe get some more decent stuff that flows their way. And like I said, it can easily transition to what Amazon does with the site. I think how people go to Amazon.com or Prime Video, I think if they can figure out a way to make it a little more intuitive, interactive to get there fast, instead of going to Amazon.com and saying, oh, recent items you viewed, browsing history, or you need to buy this now, you're instantly going to get distracted. Like, oh, I went to go watch or went to go see what new stuff Prime Video has, and you get distracted by purchasing. So they got to figure that whole situation out with the whole landing of it, and I think it can help. But I think it's a good move. I don't know if it'll help them catch Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Hulu. They may do like Apple TV does, and maybe that's a way. Maybe you do. I mean, they can't do it now, but it looks like Apple may just do the whole quality over quantity thing, which Apple can do, and Amazon can too. Amazon can be very meticulous, but having a catalog, I think, is important to make people want to come in and look and check things out. Where if you just go in to watch a specific movie or a specific TV show and you get out of there, I don't know how that works with people and navigating those. That's not really how I watch TV. If I want to see something, I watch it regardless. So I'm a different type of viewer where I'm not clicking around and looking. If I'm not that searcher for TV, I know what I want to watch and I go and watch it. That's how I watch. So I'm a little different. Second quarter was that big deal. Halftime, is not a big deal, as always. Here I'm play some D. But third quarter is a big deal. Third quarter is a big deal. I am going to let's go ahead and let's pop this up over yonder. So this is from the Harvard Business Review, and stop wasting people's time with meetings. I'm just gonna hold this up here like so. The article can be looked through. Talked about explain why the meeting matters, convey your beliefs in the group, work out how you want to show up, decide what roles you want to play. In my opinion, if a meeting is that complicated, I don't think you need to do it just yet. Meetings should be straight to the point, and no person should have all day meetings. You never get anything done. In a world where you pay somebody, say it is a director level person or a C level person, that they're just doing meetings all day to then relay that information down to a team of people. If you paying somebody six figures, maybe 250,000, whatever the number is, to digest information and relay it down to a team of people, you are getting ripped off. You're being ripped off because that information can be recorded on a tape recorder and played on a desk while those people work, and they'll get the message just the same way for a $5 tape recorder or a cell phone or whatever you use to record, or you can just record the Zoom meeting of the CEO or whoever talking. People need to work. That's if you want people to go to work, let them work. You have tasks. That's like kind of how assistants help people stay on task, or you have some kind of coordinator, or you have some kind of team leader or a team. I can't think of the word, but some teams like developers and things of that nature have like a person that kind of keeps them on task and making sure things kind of get done. Maybe they're not necessarily the boss, but they're just a part of the team to check and see how things are going and things of that nature. But meeting after meeting of your performance and what we need to do and naming something or just a bunch of stupid stuff. Just if you can't, if you have an 8-hour day, or some people have 10-hour days or whatever, 12. If you're consuming more than half a person's day with meetings, that is something needs to be reworked, in my opinion. Could it be working for all these whatever multi-million-dollar companies? Maybe so. But I hate meetings. I hate pretty much all of them. I think everything can be figured out within 10 to 15 minutes. There are obviously some stuff you need to go over for sure. But to do it once a week or a couple times a week, that's ridiculous. It should be a check-in. And then we have so many different apps and softwares to communicate with their. In addition to email, is that it's no excuse. Collaboration is not hard. To sit in a meeting where maybe two people or let's just say in a perfect world, 70% of the people get something out of it. There's 30% of people, or maybe obviously more, that's not going to get much or nothing out of that meeting, where they could have been doing work. They could have been doing something, especially if you're in my eyes, if you're having meetings all day, that means stuff needs to be done. That means you're talking about stuff that needs to be done, needs to be completed. Somebody needs to be completing those tasks. And in most cases, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, in most cases, those should be senior leadership. The whole idea of paying somebody a bunch of money to manage people is I've been out in front of this for so long, and I don't think it'll never change because of the gatekeepers and the money in it that managers, like, to pay somebody to manage people to do stuff. Good workers can get stuff done without managers. You know what you need to do. You know what needs to be done on a day-to-day basis. Everyone does. Yes, there is people that need to keep people in line, but what happens is that when companies make so much money and the CEO or the CFO or whoever's up top, director level people, they're like, oh, I'm tired of managing or looking after 50 people and only, not I want to go to the golf course sometime or I want to come in late. So we have enough money. Let's hire somebody in here that can take something off my plate because I make $1 million and I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, that's pretty much what it has come to. And I think everybody should have work to do. Everybody should have a high level. I hate that terminology. Everybody should have something at their level, at their pay grade or their position that they need to knock out on a consistent basis. I don't want to say every day because I'm also a firm believer in that really good people or good people that know how to do their job it does not take 8 hours to do it unless it's just that much to do. Most people can knock out their work relatively quickly if they know what they're doing. And that's what really should matter. Meetings should come along for company meetings, fun stuff. There should be meetings for. But if you're getting to knocking out tasks and what needs to be done, if you're doing that on a weekly basis and we're just running through the monotony, oh, did you get that done, Bonnie? Did you get that done, Bobby? Did you get that done, Jack? Nancy, did this get taken care of? If that's what's being done at meetings, it's a waste of people's time. Sorry, it's a complete waste of people's time. And I think that needs to be shut down and locked out of businesses. If something isn't getting done, I think you can see that. Obviously, if a product isn't ready, if a software isn't ready, if a deadline isn't met, you don't need a meeting to orchestrate that. If somebody needs help with something, they raise their hand and say, hey, I need help. Can somebody come help me? You don't need a meeting to figure out who helps that person. That's ridiculous to me. So I read through this article. I don't think it, like I said, all this stuff makes everything more complicated. It's fun, cool article. And it sparked my interest to do this topic of meetings. Like, look at this guy, knocked out meeting. Only people slept during Zoom meetings during COVID and fall asleep in meetings in real life before COVID. I've been in multiple companies where I have been in meetings that over and over again, those meetings did absolutely nothing for me personally. Maybe they helped other people, and maybe I'm thinking selfishly. Maybe meetings are the best thing ever. I seem like I'm the only one. Well, not the only one, but I seem like I'm definitely in a minority. I think some people look at meetings as a break. I know some people do work through meetings. Some people actually just in the meeting, but actually is still knocking stuff out. But they feel like the meeting is still necessary for whatever reason. And if you're not really paying attention to it, I don't know. But for me personally, I've really never been to that many business oriented weekly meetings that I get really anything out of. Like I said, company meetings where you do the whole rundown the statistics. I think those are super cool. I think that's a break for everybody to see the numbers, hear this the CEO or whoever or the top people talk about the different departments and what's going on and things of that nature. I think all that stuff is good. Monthly you can do that. Probably I think monthly is perfect. That's probably how it should be, or every other month you could do. I think every other month might be too much. I think people want to know what's going on just to keep people motivated. I think that's good. But the weekly team meetings and department meetings that you already know, for most people that's doing their job properly, they know what's going on and know what's not done and what should be done. You don't need to talk about that. So that's my rant on meetings. Let's reel them in because it has gotten out of hand, in my humble opinion. It's probably been for a while, but I've been talking about it for about 5 years now. It's about 2017, about 2017. It's been pissing me off, to say the least. Fourth quarter is the Vatman. Vatman. Vat. That Vatman. Knock it off camera. That zoom is something else, man. Or zoom and focus. We're in the Vatman. Opening week was good. 128 million. That's biggest opening weekend of 2022 by a landslide. It's that about halfway behind Spider-Man No Way Home. Good movie. Spoiler or not, I'm not gonna spoil the movie, but it follows the Dark Knight's pathway, in my opinion, to a T. It just added a mystery element to it. I don't think you can get that plot line wrong at all. Robert Pattinson was good. I think he's one of the better Batmans, in my opinion, and I think it's because him we didn't see. He was pretty much Batman the majority of the movie. We didn't see much of Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, which I think will probably, be another one. We'll probably see a bunch of them, which will be a bit annoying. I think seeing Batman in the Batman was really, really good. The voice, I'm a big thing with the voice of Batman, and I think his voice was perfect for the Batman. Zoe Kravitz was really good. I was gonna say excellent, but was really good. She didn't do anything spectacular or different than any other Catwoman ever did. She's just super hot and a super dope person, and it exudes on the camera. Everything she has, her whole aura, her whole mind, it's big time. It's a star. It's sexy, it's elegant, she's the ish. She's it. She's a really good she was meant I think she was meant to be a star. I think she's meant for the screen, and I'm sure she's a dope person too. So she just fit right in. She just fit right in the movie. She helped it move along, her character and how she played the Catwoman. The villains, the Riddler was cool. Same concept. We don't even see the guy that plays the Riddler to the end. So the Riddler is the Riddler. Just like Batman is the Batman. The characters behind him don't really matter. And I just kind of wanted to backpedal real quick on that before I forget, is that I'm a big believer outside of Robert Downey Jr., which he was a big star when he did Iron Man. But I thought he fit Iron Man just so effortlessly that he's the only one that I can't really argue with. Maybe Hugh Jackman too, but I don't feel like Hugh was as big as like Robert is and things of that nature, or the big star. I always feel like the Batmans, the Spider-Mans, the Wolverines, all the big superhero characters should be no-name actors. I think those actors that's where they should get their start at, because nobody's coming to see. I don't think anybody's coming to see Robert Pattinson as the Batman. You're coming to see the Batman. You're going to see the superhero. You're going to see Spider-Man. You're going to see Black Panther. You're going to see like those characters, Captain Marvel. You don't really, as long as that person can act, speak honestly, you're good. You think about Bane, you think about Tom Hardy with Bane. You don't even know that's Tom Hardy. That could have been anybody And honestly, we don't even. I'm sure you can research it, but the person that was doubling him probably was on screen way more than Tom Hardy was, unless Tom Hardy did all the stunts. So was it Tom? Excuse me. Was it Tom Hardy? But we go to see the characters, not the actors. That's my just kind of off kilter there for a second. But yeah, that plot line worked. The Riddler played it well. It looks like there was a Joker at the end, which the Joker and the Riddler will be just mad havoc for the Batman, which in terms things makes me think that he'll get his sidekick. I think he'll get a Robin or somebody to help him along the way. Colin Farrell playing Penguin, had no clue it was him. To say this was the best Penguin, I think is unfair because we just don't see enough of this Penguin. I mean, what is it? He's really in, I don't know, 5 scenes, maybe 6. He's probably on screen a total of 20 minutes, maybe. I'm not even sure where. Who played that original Penguin? Danny DeVito or whoever that is. I can't think of it. I'm not gonna look it up because I don't feel like it. But that Penguin was good, and this Penguin, obviously, this Colin Farrell Penguin is going to be in the next one. So I think it'll be. It looks like they're gonna do like some kind of triangle villain or quad. Triangle villain maybe, like as in 3 villains. Fighting for that circle of power. Batman's over, trying to make sure they don't go crazy. This is in my opinion, the 11th Batman. I'm not counting Suicide Squad, Justice League, and Joker. I am counting the Lego Batman. I am counting Batman vs Superman, which was pathetic. This would be the 11th Batman. And I'll probably do a tier list of my top or my tier list of Batmans. But yeah, this is the 11th, and it's up there. I think it's one of the better ones. But as I reiterate once again, is that it does cheat a little bit. It cheats a lot of it, shall I say? But which is totally fine because that's the Riddler's character and the Joker's character. That to switch it up, it's hard to switch up a Riddler. We don't. The Riddler is the Riddler. The Riddler can't be a brute force. We can't turn the Riddler into Bane or something that he's not. The Riddler is exactly what he is. The Joker is exactly what it is. Just how those people play those characters. Just like Batman is who he is. This Batman had a couple more tricks. He seemed like he was a little more powerful, in my opinion, than Christian Bale's and George Clooney's, which is cool. The emo side, people talk about the emo side of the Batman. I don't know how emo he was. I thought everything seemed legitimate, how they told the story. The story was a little bit, they altered some things about, the story, but that corruption angle and Gotham and all that good stuff and Madison Square Garden ending and all that, they just switched up the spots and how things were, but overall it followed but I enjoyed it. As I've been griping on that 256. I think it's without the credits. I forgot what somebody said it was, but you do feel all of it for sure. Other thing real quick is that some people felt like they could have left some stuff out. I do not think you could have. I think you probably could have chopped a couple minutes off, maybe, but I feel like every scene was on purpose. In terms of character building to dialogue, most scenes talked. There was some cinematics. You did see some cars, some cool features, and cool special effects features. And I think that's all a part of the Batman. So I do think they did use the time wisely. I just think it's just long, and they're just always long. Could it have been cut? Sure, but how the story was told here, I think everything was necessary, and cutting things would have. I don't remember the scene, but I remember there was one transition that it looks like something was supposed to go in the middle of there, and they cut to something else. I just don't remember what that was. But I feel like I personally noticed that when things don't transition properly, and you're like, that went from there to there really quickly. That's because they're trying to slice time, which is understandable. Nobody wants to sit for 3 hours and watch really anything, especially a story that's been told over and over again. And lastly, is that Batman, once again, 11. I mean, I know there's multiple generations. I know more people want to see Batman and like to hear the Batman story, but I've really had enough. There's just more DC characters that we can tell a cool story about. The nostalgia and the love of Batman can be told within those stories. Possibly he can be a cameo character. You can spend a couple 30 minutes on him. He can come down and fight, and you can talk to him and stuff like that. But Batman as a movie, let's get it out. Let's get it out. Maybe once every 15 years or something like that. One movie. Get it out. Play some D45. Was as always a pleasure to do. Thanks for watching. If you don't mind that like button, drop a comment telling me what you think about Batman. You know how you feel about meetings. I hate them. Deshaun Watkins. I don't know why I call him Watkins. It's Deshaun Watson. If he ever sees this video, I'm sorry. I know your name's Deshaun Watson. And the last thing was, that Amazon deal, $8.5 billion. Billion dollar. Yeah, so I think all four of those topics were right up my alley for this week in terms of interest and things of that nature and relevance. Variety, the spice of life. This one is variety. We got sports, we got movies, we got acquisitions, we got a rant about work. I mean, this is just as good as it gets. So honestly, overtime would have kind of messed up the ebb and flow of this 45, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. But yeah, as always, be safe, be cool, keep it tight, keep it light. Until the next one, I holla.